Thank you everyone for tuning into Dorsey's Power Hour and any previous ones that you may have watched. Today's presentation is on Introduction to MetalAire by Greenheck of air distribution products and of GRDs and terminal units. I'm Scott Boucher and I'm the Vice President of Engineering Sales at Dorsey. I reside in the Seattle office. And also tuning in from Dorsey is another sales engineer that represents Eastern Washington, Blake Bonham. And the person most responsible for organizing all the power hours is Chris Woldridge, who happens to be at Greenheck this week doing a factory visit with some engineering customers, so he won't be joining us today. Doing some housekeeping, everyone is muted and cameras are off, so please keep your questions in the chat. We'll be keeping an eye on them and either answering them on the go or wait until the end. Presentation should be an hour or less. Andy just said it would be if we didn't have a lot of questions. We'll allow some at the end as well. And today's presenter is Andy Vicnier, Greenheck's Sales Application Manager for Air Distribution Products. Also, if anyone is interested, the same presentation or similar presentation can be arranged in person by somebody at Dorsey. We're also happy to host trips to the Greenheck factory in central Wisconsin if you want to see any of these products in person or any other products that Greenheck makes. And with that, Andy, give yourself an introduction and let's get started.
Hi, everybody. I'm Andy Vink here. Really glad you could join us today. I just want to do a quick product overview, kind of introduction to MetalAire for people that aren't familiar. Please feel free to interrupt me at any time if there is chat questions. You can wait till the end, or feel free to interrupt me. This meeting's for you, so I'd be happy to answer any of those. But I'll go ahead and get started here. But before I get started, I wanted to say that, Greenheck, the one thing that was missing in their portfolio on the air distribution side of the business was air distribution on the air side of the business, I should say, was air distribution, grills, registers, diffusers, and their terminal units. So they bought MetalAire, a very established company, with about 90% of the products that they needed to get started. They didn't want to start with zero like they did with dampers and louvers. With dampers and louvers, they started at zero, and they did end up being the number one. They're the number one provider of dampers and louvers in the world, Greenheck is. And that's our intention with air distribution as well. But like I said, they didn't want to start with zero, so they went out and acquired MetalAire. And since then, we have expanded the product line to fill those voids, and we've improved the efficiency of the manufacturing facilities. We'll talk about that as we go. Everything from quality control to expanded sizes to packaging to finishes have all been looked at, and automation has been implemented as well to have more consistent welds and more efficiency in making product. The facilities that they acquired, there's over 500,000 square feet of manufacturing floor, about 250,000 square feet in Bushnell, Florida, just outside of Tampa. Right next to that is the headquarters for air distribution for MetalAire, which is in Clearwater, Florida, which is where the offices are, the training center, and the test labs. And in addition to the factory in Bushnell, we also have a factory in Marion, North Carolina, where we make all of our air terminal units. That factory is about 125,000 square feet. In Bushnell, we make our entire GRD product line. And then in addition, to support the GRD product line in Bushnell, we have a facility, as you can see there, in Reynosa, Mexico. We're down there with a lot of other manufacturers just like us. There's like an HVAC row of manufacturers there, and we're one of them. And we provide a lot of our fast turn and burn GRD products out of that facility. And a lot of the products that serve the West Coast come from that facility. So, with that, I'll jump into, this is just a quick picture here of our testing facility in Clearwater, where we test our throw and pressure and sound. Actually, sound is in another room, but this is where we test our products, and we can also do mock-ups for engineers to show them what their performance of their diffuser might look like. Here's a quick look at Bushnell, this is a quick look at our E-coat paint line. We've really improved this process. We went from a powder coat finish to an E-coat finish because you get a lot better coverage with an E-coat. We have a positive charge on the diffuser and then a negative charge in the dip tank. The diffuser is fully submersed into the dip tank. So unlike powder coating, you're not going to miss any corners or crevices, because with grills and registers, there's a lot of spots that are tough to get to with powder coating. So we really like this fully submerged version, and we've ended up with just excellent full coverage finishes. With that, I'll jump in quickly to the air terminal unit overview. I got a lot of slides here and things that are just product based. I'm going to go through pretty quickly for the sake of time. But like I said, if you have questions, please ask them in the chat, and then feel free to interrupt me, Dorsey crew, if they have a question that applies. So we have single duct boxes, both in a standard profile, which is a 20-inch high max single duct box. And then we also have low profile versions that only go up to 12.5-inch max. We accomplished that by providing an oval inlet on the size 12 through 16-inch models. We also offer dual ducts, both in non-mixing, which is basically two single duct boxes strapped together, and then mixing, both in a 20-to-1 mixing ratio and then a high efficiency 30-to-1 mixing ratio with an integral attenuating section. Here's a quick look at that. There's a top exploded view or open view with no top of the no mixing, two boxes strapped together. And then there's basically two sections there. You can see the one on the right with the mixing baffle. With just the mixing baffle, that's the 20-to-1 version. And then if you add that other section there at the top, that would make it a 30-to-1 mixing ratio. We also have fan-powered air terminal units, both series or constant volume and parallel or variable volume. There's a quick look. Our constant volume box is like most everybody else's, induction inlet on the back, fan on the discharge. You're always going to have constant volume. It just depends on whether the air comes from the primary air inlet or comes from the induction inlet based on the damper position. And then our parallel unit, basically you just take the box and move it over to the induction inlet, and it's a little bit smaller because it only has to handle the heating load. But this is how most people's terminal units are set up. And there's a quick look at ours. I'm not going to go through today all the advantages and disadvantages of these. I'm happy to talk at the end of this or offline anytime about why you would use one over the other. But since today's an intro meeting, we're going to skip that part where we go through this. Once again, I've left a little time at the end where we can go through these illustrations. I can show you the difference between how the two boxes perform if you choose. This is actually a working video that I can show you. So we'll skip that for now. Once again, we can talk about the parallel and the differences and the advantages of one versus the other, and then a quick illustration of parallel versus constant, but I'll save that for the end. The series fan-powered boxes come in a standard profile in 6 case sizes, and then in a low profile in 2 case sizes. I can tell you that in most cases, we cover the gamut. We also can provide these with EC motors or PSC motors. In today's world, I would really recommend the EC motor. We'll talk about that a little bit more. And then in the parallel fan-powered, we offer 7 standard case sizes, and then 3 case sizes in the low profile. We also offer retrofit boxes anywhere you have an existing constant volume system that you want to convert to a variable volume system. We can match round duct or rectangular duct and match the existing ductwork for retrofit terminal units. We have 2 primary types of reheat options. One is electric heat and one is hot water heat. The hot water coils can come in 1, 2, 3, or 4 rows. We offer a standard 10 fins per inch or a high capacity version, which is 12 fins per inch, which will get you more capacity, but it will add a little pressure. We can also change the coil face area. You can simply oversize the casing. So for example, you can order an 8-inch box with a size 10 casing. That way you'll have a larger surface area, and that way you can increase the BTU output without increasing the fluid or air pressure, like increasing fins per inch or increasing rows. And we're happy to help you with those selections. Some other things that can change, but we don't change very often, is the tubing diameter or the fin design. But these are things that we can change. We can upsize the casing thickness, we can increase tubing diameter, thickness of material. So there's a lot of things we can do. So if you're not getting what you need, let us know. We can look at a special coil design. As far as electric heat goes, they're all ETL listed, and we can provide staged heat in 1, 2, or 3 stages. We can also provide SCR heat. In today's world, once again, like the EC motor, I'm always going to recommend SCR heat, because for what I would consider a minimal premium add, you're going to get a heater that's much more efficient. You're going to have superior temperature control, and the lifespan of the elements is going to be increased dramatically. The construction options on electric heat are available like most people's electric heat. We can change the control cabinet from NEMA 1 to dust height. We can add transformers, air pressure switches, disconnect switches, whatever you might need. As far as liners go, we provide what you're used to seeing. We can provide fiberglass insulation, foil face fiberglass insulation, closed cell foam for non-fiberglass applications, and even double wall. We're just doing an overview today, but I'll give a couple pointers as we go. One is, when it comes to R value and cost, you can't beat fiberglass. It's the cheapest and it has the best R value. When it comes to R value, it's about excuse me, it's more about thickness than it is type. And then when it comes to noise reduction, fiberglass is a great performer. If you're trying to balance performance versus cost, you could look in here and see that the closed cell foam is one of the most expensive. It's not a very good insulator, and it's not very good for noise reduction. So I would only use it where I had to. If you went with a foil face fiberglass, you'd see that it's the 4-pound density is more cost effective, has the best R values and the best sound values. So that's another conversation we could have at the end if you would like, but we provide all the liners that you would need for just about any application. We can also add sound attenuators. We can make an integral sound attenuator just by extending the duct, for example, on that picture there with a single duct, very cost-effective way to decrease sound. And on the right, we have a parallel fan-powered box that's showing a sound attenuating section on the induction inlet and a sound attenuating section on the discharge. So depending on your application, we can really help you with sound attenuation as need be, whether it's radiated or discharged that we have to deal with. Control options, we can provide anything: digital, pneumatic, analog, and electric. We can also provide units without controls, and we can mount other people's controls. So this is just very need-based. Before I go any further, any questions on air terminal units before we go further? I'll just wait a couple seconds to see. Let me know, guys. I am not looking at the chat, so let me know verbally if there's any ATU questions.
Yeah, we're good, Andy.
All right, I'm going to move on to grills, registers, and diffusers. I'm going to go through these pretty quickly because I don't want to bore you with model numbers, but I do want to show you that we have a full product line. Right now we have, we're doing a model number conversion. We're basically going from about 600 model numbers to about 250, and we've already started that conversion. So I don't want to get caught up in the models anyway. We have all sorts of tools to help you with model numbers, cross-reference, and going from legacy to new model numbers, some great tools for that. So don't get caught up in the models. We'll just run from there. All right, so we have all the square cone diffusers you're used to seeing: 2-cone, 3-cone, plaque diffusers, round plaque diffusers, high induction diffusers where you want to really get more induction than typical. Maybe low flow applications is one we see a lot. Also wanted to mention, don't be fooled by the 2-cone and 3-cone. Some people in the industry call 2-cone what we call 3-cone, and they call 4-cone what we call 3-cone. Just keep in mind that if you see the one on the left, the 3-cone is including the back pan and the 2-cone is not. Same thing with if you look at the second one from the left, the 5800, that is the 4-cone is using the back pan. So if you just look at the number of cones, that should simplify it. We also provide louvered face diffusers, all sorts of panel sizes, all the different discharges, 1, 2, 3, 4-way, corner blow, lay-in, surface mount, beveled frame, all of those things. Architectural versions, mod core versions, and even cold aisle diffuser versions. Round ceiling diffusers, 3-cone, 2-cone, steel, aluminum, fixed, fixed, adjustable, all those different versions, just like in the previous slide, steel and aluminum, I forgot to mention that, and fixed and adjustable. So the whole gamut on those. Industrial spot diffusers, true round, plaque diffusers. The full offering of perforated face diffusers, from neck-mounted curved blade to stamped face-mounted pattern controllers, neck stamped pattern controllers, mod core perfs, perf panels. So full offering of perforated diffusers, steel and aluminum, lay-in surface. Supply grills, single and double deflection, standard blade or airfoil, and then curved blade, 1, 2, 3, and 4-way curved blade. Return grills in steel, in roll formed aluminum, and extruded aluminum. The whole cube core series, half by half by half, or 1 by 1 by 1, or half by 1 if you like the half by half look, but want it to be a little bit site proof, a little bit more than the half by half. Or if you want it totally site proof, we offer the 45-degree site proof. Keep in mind there's a premium ad for that, and there's also a penalty on free area. So make sure you size those properly, because it has the same, it doesn't have the same effective free area. Also a full line of perf returns, steel and aluminum. Filter grills, designed for 1 or 2-inch filters. We're even providing them now with 4-inch depth as well for MERV 8 to MERV 15 filters. We provide the filter backs on fixed blade returns, cube cores, site-proof cube cores, perf returns, and even heavy-duty returns. Steel and aluminum. Heavy-duty grills. Heavy-duty grills meaning that they're built from heavier gauges, and also they have additional blade reinforcing. Obviously for gyms, courts, or anywhere, impact can be a problem. We have those in fixed blade. We have them in single and double deflection and return and supply, steel and aluminum. Industrial grills. Basically industrial grills, what you're looking at here is just, your typical grills are 1/2 to 3/4 inch blade spacing. These are typically going to be 1 to 3-inch blade spacing. So a lot more blade spacing for high volume, high velocity, minimal pressure drop applications. Drum louvers. Basically big open spaces, convention centers, airports, auditoriums. We have a full line of door transfer grills, single flange, double flange, light proof, core only, and we make custom door and transfer grills. A nice offering of spiral duct mounted grills, everything from drum louvers to linear slots to perfs to double deflections. We do them in universal mounting and true curved flange mounting. The universal mounting has a gasket on the side, so it fits a range of ductwork. It doesn't sit flush, but it has better lead times. It looks good, it performs well, and it costs less. Or we have the true curved mounting where it matches the exact diameter of the duct. It looks great, it's flush, but it has a little longer lead times and it costs a little more money. We have a full line of security grills, duct bars, linear bar grills, louvered face, fixed blade returns, lattice, mesh face, and perf face. Custom sleeve lengths. There's a lot we can do to help with customizing these. You just got to let us know the requirements of your application, and including making things suicide deterrent, or maximum security or minimum security requirements. We have a nice line of specialty grills, air nozzles, and punka louvers, round supply grills in single and double deflection. They can be individual or they can be panel mounted, 1, 2, 3, or 4 on a panel. These are often used in airports, and you see them architecturally now, even in retail restaurants and strip centers. So we see these are all over the place. Architects seem to really like them. And then we have linear bar grills in the formations wide slot, 1 to 3 inch wide, standard linear slots with 1/2 to 1 inch wide slots, 1 to 8 slots wide, linear bar grills, louvered face linears, and then the plenums to match all of those products. The formations wide slot architectural linear is probably our best built diffuser. I love it. We have a lot of frame style options, and we even have pattern controller options. You can get left or, on the standard blade pattern controller, you can have easily adjust it from left or right or vertical. And then the combo blade pattern controller, you can, in addition to those, you can do kind of an angled discharge. If you look at the bottom there, left and right. So if you don't want it to go straight horizontal, you can angle it to maybe blow straight on a window that's slightly below. So a lot of versatility, including even closing those fully dampered on those combo blade pattern controllers. And they're great for curving. We can do convex, concave, inside concave, outside convex, ceiling flat down, multiple radiuses. We can help you with the design of these and laying these out and picking the right frame styles. We have a lot of frame styles. Here's just a few new ones we just added. Flush frame, the beveled frame for wood ceilings where you can't see any frame. We have the tape and spackle where you can't see frame and sheetrock. We have offset ceilings. Let us help you with these. We've got lots of good pictures for you to visualize, and we can help you pick the right product for the application. We have plenums, both insulated and uninsulated, that are built to exactly match the different products. We have VAV diffusers, both thermally actuated and electronic. Thermally actuated, you don't need any power to it, which makes it really attractive. The electronic used to be considerably more expensive, so people love the thermally actuated for that. But nowadays, the electronic versions have come way down. And they give you the ability to have a stat built in with it. So we sell a lot more electronic today than we do a thermally actuated. But some people love having no power or have a requirement that you don't have any power there, and they typically go with a thermally actuated. We offer limited sizes, but a really nice product of limited sizes of engineered polymer products. Anywhere non-ferrous material is required, like an MRI room or corrosive environments, these engineered polymer products look brand new when they're 10 years old. Saying they're plastic is not fair. They're very robust. And the coating, if you want to put a color into them, it's impregnated in, so they'll never peel, rust, and you can hardly see a scratch.
Yeah, hey Andy, we got one question here. It said, do you have a diffuser type for low temperature supply to offset potential dumping concerns less than 55 degrees?
Yes, that's the low. It's a funny name, but it's a good product. We call it the Phenomenator, and the Phenomenator-LF. It's a low flow, so it's like the plaque diffuser, but it has jet induction nozzles up around behind it, and we can get you some information on that.
All right, thank you.
You bet. We also offer a nice line of standard displacement air distribution. We've done custom jobs in the past. In fact, we did all of City Center in Las Vegas, which was like 8 different casinos, including Vidara, and I can't even remember the names, but we had a massive project of custom displacement. So yes, we can do custom displacement. But today, all I'm going to talk about is just standard product. This is very inexpensive to integrate into your project, or maybe it's just for certain parts of your project. If you can get it to fit in these certain modules, they're very inexpensive and very readily available. We make it in rectangular units, corner units, round units, half round units, wall units where they're flush with the wall, and just faceplate units. So if you run into any of these applications, let us know and we can help you apply the product. We also have fire rated packages. You may or may not need these on some projects. They want the diffuser, the blanket, and the ceiling radiation damper to all be rated as an assembly. Most markets do not, but if they do require that, we can provide these. And then all the GRD accessories you're used to seeing, everything from canopies to butterfly dampers to opposed blade dampers to equalizing grids, plaster and trim frames, squared arounds, all the standard stuff. We have both GRDs and ATUs in caps now, which is great because most of you are probably used to using caps. Very user-friendly. However, we're willing to train on this, so we can do that virtually or in person, but I think you'll find if you know caps pretty well, it'll be an easy transition, and I know the Dorsey team knows it really well. What's cool about the GRDs is, I don't think anybody else does this, but if you put in the model and the size and the flow, it will give you automatically the throw at all 3 terminal velocities, the pressure, and the sound, which is a lot of chasing of information through catalogs and probably correction formulas to get those answers. That's all built in now into the GRDs. So please take a look. I think you'll find it a useful tool. And then we have the air terminal units in there as well. The air terminal units, it's, to me, very user-friendly. It even tells you, errors where if you put in the criteria and it doesn't give you a selection, it tells you why. So we'd love to help you with getting CAPS training if you're interested. We also have Revit files for your needs as well. We're working on a Revit bridge. We don't have that yet, but we can get you the Revit files. In addition to the performance, we have all the catalog data, submittal data, and then on the ATUs, there is an import tool. So if you want to import from a schedule, you can do that automatically, and it is an amazing tool. It will save you hours and hours of time if you're inputting data from a schedule. That can be very automatic now. So we love that tool. Let us know if you're interested. We also have selection flowcharts for each product group. So if you click on one of these are things that you can go in and get on our website. So if you go to our website, you can select these tabs. These are dynamic tabs. It'll take you into something that looks like this and leads you to the product that you're looking for. And then if you click on that product, it will take you to the website with all the data on that product. We also have these selection guides that will help you if you're deciding between material options or frame style or module sizes. This will really help you with that. And we have cross-reference guides that cross-reference between multiple manufacturers, both GRDs and air terminal units. And the GRD one shows our legacy models with our new models, so you don't get confused about that, because we're actually trying to make life easier, not more confusing. But as we go through the transition, it can be a little confusing, so that's why we have these tools for you. Any questions on standard GRDs before we jump into a quick review of HLC? We have it's 2:30, so we have about 15 minutes left.
Looks like we're clear.
Okay, I'm going to jump into HLC. I want to start out by saying that we make great, high-quality HLC products and systems. And we also have people on our team that are very cutting edge, that sit on the boards of ASHRAE and the Facility Health Management Societies that are watching codes up to today. in helping set these codes. So next week for the Dorsey Power Hour, Matt McLaurin is going to speak on HLC products. I highly suggest you go. He has a wealth of information. He's also somebody that can really help us lay out an operating room, select the right type of fan filter unit, all sorts, a wealth of information. So I'm going to do a quick overview, but if you ever want a real presentation on this, either tune in next week or we'll set one up for you specially. We provide fan filter units. We have supply flow fan filter units with or without LED lighting. We have reverse flow or exhaust flow fan filter units with or without lighting. We even have ducted inline fan filter units, and we can help you select the right control package, which is very important for these. And EC motors on all of those, so very quiet, controllable airflow. We have radial flow diffusers. Right here, we're showing the flat face. We also have the dome face, if that's what you're looking for, to match an existing job, just for the aesthetics. But this flat face radial flow diffuser works as good or better than the teardrop type and sits flush with the ceiling. We can provide these with or without HEPAs, but these are great in front of fume hoods. On a side note, they're also good in front of a kitchen hood in a commercial kitchen, because anywhere you want to get a whole lot of air in with not a lot of turbulence, radial flow diffusers work great. You can keep them inexpensive by providing them in aluminum, which is great in the kitchen, rather than stainless steel, maybe for a lab. We also have a wide variety of laminar flow diffusers, basically what we'll call from, inexpensive, trying to keep it inexpensive, no HEPA filter, and just aluminum construction, all the way up to fully welded plenums with integral cone dampers, ultra low entrainment, and removable diffusion baskets, LED lighting. So let us help you pick it. We can help you. If it's for an OR room, we're gonna maybe want aerosol challenge ports, all sorts of things like that we can help you select the right one. Also, we have some nice data online if you want to go in and take a look. I think you'll see that we're really ready to hit the ground running in here, and we've already done multiple projects that are what I would consider very cutting edge. People used to provide traditional systems, which you see over on the right, which is, we would provide the diffusers and blank off panels. Somebody else would provide the ceiling grid. Somebody else would provide the lighting and the ductwork. Somebody else, there was like 6, 7 different trades in there. And what you ended up with was all sorts of gaps, a lot of entrainment, poor lighting, and a room that's very tough to seal and get out of. So they created these heavy duty sealing systems that we provide now. So we provide the sealing system, the diffusers, and the blank off panels so that it seals up tight. It looks like this. And this works great. And for the last 10 years, we provided a lot of these with these welded modular sections. But now even this has kind of gone by the wayside. And what we're seeing now is modular plenum systems. You can see there, because if we provide the modular plenum system, not only can we get the proper layout, but we can get the proper lighting. We can minimize the duct connections. We can make it hanging easier. We can balance the system better. Everything about it kind of puts all the responsibility on one team, that's us, rather than 6 different trades pointing their fingers. These types of systems have become recruiting tools for surgeons and retention tools for surgeons, because they don't want to work in operating rooms that are from the 1980s or even 1990s, because it really puts them at risk for higher post-operative infection rates. And they don't like working in those environments due to the lighting, and I'll show you why here. But before we get to that, we're even providing the structural supports now. We don't want to provide structural steel, but the only way that we can really lay this system out right and get that air over the gurney, over the open wound properly, is to make sure we know where everything else is going. We need to know where the booms are going for the lights and for the gas columns. So if we also do the structural support, we find out everything that's happening, and then they just hang this from the ceiling. They put it together on the floor and hang it from the ceiling. So it goes in great, it goes in fast, single source responsibility. There's more upfront cost, but you're going to save a ton of money in labor, and you're going to get the operating room up and running faster. And as we all know, the operating room is where the hospital makes all the big money and loses all the big money when they get sued, by the way. So both. There's just a quick picture of what the structural steel looks like that we provide above the plenum. It's basically just tube steel with boom supports. When we do provide the full system, we do free design support. We do a lighting layout. And that should say lighting and diffuser layout. So we do a full lighting layout and diffuser layout. And we pick the proper free area on the diffusers because we really want to minimize entrainment and keep that clean piston of air over the patient where it belongs. Right here, you can see real quick, there's a traditional ring light system on the left where the lighting is fluorescent going around the outside. And then you have the bright white surgical lighting over the patient. That made it very hard on surgeons with eye fatigue. If you look over to the right, now we have the lighting over the patient and the lighting to match the surgical lighting, which the surgeons love because not only is it better lighting, but doesn't cause the fatigue on their eyes. This is a brand new facility up at the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center. We also can provide tunable whites and tunable greens and dimmable drivers. So we can dim the lighting and we can tune it to the whole band of greens and whites. Some surgeons want white light. Some surgeons want green light. They want the green light because it won't wash out their screens that they have to look at. Some want the green light because they can see internal bleeding better under the green light. So now, not only does it make it better for the surgeon, but it makes the operating room usable for more purposes. In summary, Greenheck MetalAire by Greenheck provides industry best pricing, very competitive, best lead times in the industry, and an excellent, if not best, quick build program. Most of our grills, registers, and diffusers are standard ones without special finish or curved or security or anything like that are about 3 weeks. And then our single duct air terminal units, it says 2 weeks, but we've actually bumped that, but we're still ahead of the industry. Depends on, right now we're running about 3 weeks and then 4 weeks if we're adding electric heat, but that changes day to day, so please ask. And then we have an excellent quick build program where we offer 1, 3, 5, and 10 day options based on the size and quantity that's happening.